Hey guys, it's Dave with Big Rock Bend Reviews. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Today we're going to be looking at my final thoughts on the Bestechman Cicada Wing. But first, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button for me while you're here. Definitely appreciate that. So like I said, today we're looking at this knife. This is the Bestechman Cicada Wing. This one has the purple G10 handles and the black finished blade on it. This is going to be a 10 CR 15 MOV steel. You can see the finish there. And when the light catches it, you can see that finish has a little bit of wear and tear on it. I have a feeling that if I keep using this knife for a few more weeks, maybe a couple months, a lot of that finish is probably going to wear down and wear off. And in all honesty, that is not necessarily a bad thing. If you check the description on this video, you'll see my other two videos about this knife linked there. There has been a little bit of an issue with the finish on this knife interfering with the cutting. I think it's mainly the finish is a little rough. It has a little bit of almost like a gritty texture to it. And you can see here trying to cut through this printer paper, it tends to catch and start to tear. There's no edge damage. There's no nicks on the edge or anything. I think what's really happening, as I've said in some of those other videos, is that that texture and that friction on the finish catches just enough to slow the blade down in some of these lighter targets and interfere with the cutting. The blade geometry, the blade stock, the grind on it, all of that is set up to really give this knife a really good cutting edge. Like I said, I think it's the finish that's kind of getting in the way of that. And I have talked to a few people who have this same knife, but with a different setup of options on it that have like the satin finish blade. And everyone I've talked to with that setup says that it is one of the best cutting knives they own, which I can believe given the geometry and the grind. I want to get one of those other setups and do kind of a side by side comparison with this. And I will say with harder targets like this cardboard, it just glides right through there. That tends to give me a lot of confidence that the blade shape and the geometry is really solid. It's just the finish option that I chose on this knife that really is causing the issues. But that's something to test with some future videos. You can see here it does cut really well in some harder targets. I will say this blade does take a little bit of a maintenance. I have sharpened this thing probably 6 or 7 times at this point. So it does tend to wear out or wear down the edge a little bit quicker than some other knives. That may be just a function of the blade steel. But as far as the action, the look, the feel of this knife, for the money, it's really pretty solid. Just kind of be aware of the finish that can have an impact on the cutting edge. But yeah, I definitely plan on testing that out with another model. So I would say for the money, decent buy. There are some better options out there maybe, but this one's pretty good too. So thanks for stopping by, guys.